Hello, everyone. Welcome back to what I imagine will be quite a short video, a midweek video for you all. This is some Doctor Who news. It'll be in the thumbnail and the title, so you'll know what we're talking about. But I blame Liam for this news because we said, there'll be nothing. They'll announce nothing in the week. There'll be no news.
They should have announced this 2 days ago. That's what I'm
And
saying.
it was jinx. We knew it would happen. We knew we'd wait ages to do a news video, and then we think, it's fine. They won't announce anything else. They did this thing in the 60th, and never mind. But yes, the big news, which dropped at time of recording about half an hour ago, maybe. The composer Murray Gold will be returning to the show. This is the guy that's done probably the music that Doctor Who's most famous for. I think
outside of the theme tune, yes.
Oh yes, outside of the theme tune. Although I think he did revamp he did revamp the theme tune, which I think a lot of people remember most. But yeah, he did the music from 2005 to 2016. 17. So basically, he saw the Ninth Doctor, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies both were the showrunners at the time. He left when Moffat left, and I can't pronounce the other guy's name. I don't want to get it wrong.
Akinola.
There you go. What Liam said. He came for Jodie Whittaker's 3 seasons and specials, and did a really good job. I really liked his music. There's so many moments. Obviously, Jodie's regeneration theme at the end is excellent, and his own theme tune was great as well. But as with a lot of things returning for the 60th, alongside Russell and David Tennant and Catherine Tate, Murray Gold has decided to come along as well. I don't think this is a shock to anyone.
It would have been shocking if it wasn't him. I think is the thing, isn't it?
Yes. Because I think he's worked with Russell outside of Doctor Who as well. I think they worked together on years and years, I think, and maybe it's a sin. So they've worked together before on other shows. The old composer announced he was leaving basically straight after. It might have been even before Power of the Doctor had aired. So we knew there was going to be somebody else. And surprise, surprise, it's Murray Gold. What are your thoughts on? I think it's been a little bit divisive on Twitter in certain sectors and certain things. Depends on where you look. A lot of people are happy about it. Some people are like, but I think both of us kind of fall into the category.
I think that's fair. I have no issue with him coming back for the 60 specials because I think that makes sense. You're going to get I guess big names that are tied to the show back for the 60th. I think that makes sense. They're going to get Rachel Talalay back to direct one of them as well. Obviously, Russell's back in charge. David and Catherine and all the Noble family are back. And who knows who else will be back when we watch those episodes. Russell likes working with people he's worked with before. He works with Neil Patrick Harris on It's a Sin, and now Neil Patrick Harris is in the 60th. So, it's very much kind of a pattern for him anyway. And he's provided, literally 12 years worth of, Doctor Who soundtracks. So,
all of which are available to purchase except for one season, which you can't buy anywhere.
They haven't even released Series 10 and they're letting him back in. Unforgivable. There's no excuse now.
No. Now's the perfect time to release it if you're going to do it.
It has to be now, please. I do think that makes sense for the 60th. Because it very much seems to be Russell T Davies era focused, as far as we know, before people come for me. It was the least surprising news in the world. Even Russell on Instagram was like, "Who's surprised?" Russell, yes,
nobody knows Russell. Sorry,
that excuses it. It's fine. It's not like his music's ever been bad. There have been, I assume, budget restrictions, maybe time restrictions at times that have meant he probably couldn't have produced all the music that he wanted to throughout his 12 years on the show. But also, he had 12 years on the show. That's a lot that he's given already, and we've seen a lot of what he can do in regards to the show. So I am sad that it seems he is back for Series 14 and beyond as well. I was hoping
confirmed now,
yeah, I was hoping Shooty Zero would have a new voice. You know, I like that Doctor Who has been bringing new voices into it in the past few years in terms of writing and everything like that. I mean, we talked about this with the idea of Stephen Moffat coming back in our last thing.
Yeah.
I think
It's literally the same thing. Just
we
with
need
music.
new blood, and every announcement that we're getting makes me think less and less. Oh, maybe this is going to be like a whole new thing, and you know, Russell's got whole new writing prowess since then. So I guess we'll see when it is. But yeah, I am kind of. It feels quite restrictive for me. I think it's kind of unfair to. It kind of feels like they're just giving Shooty the leftovers in a way of an era of music that isn't going to be topped in regards to Murray Gold, I would say. So yeah, I'm very torn on the idea, because obviously it's going to make a lot of people very happy, as we've seen. But we're kind of in the era of nostalgia is driving stories and media now, and they can't just stand on their own. So I guess it falls in line with that. I personally find that extremely boring. I'm sick of multiverses already. We've got at least another like 3 years of those fucking things coming out. So yeah, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade or anything, and anyone's excited, as I'm sure a lot of people will be. And I'm excited to see if it is like, you know, for all I know, it's going to be a completely new vision. But I said that about Russell coming back, and I'm less and less confident of that with every passing news announcement. So we're just going to have to wait and see where it all goes. But at the very least, we can expect some good music, because we know that he's never not capable of that. So that is a positive. You know, it's not like they've gotten someone on board and like, oh wow, I've hated everything they've ever done, which I don't think there's a single composer out there that I would say that for. So yeah, it will be intriguing to see how it all ties in, and how his soundtrack for the 60th sounds compared to how Series 14 and beyond sounds. I think that's going to be the real tell thing here. So yeah, it will be, as it always is for these kind of announcements, it's a wait and see situation, and we'll have to just wonder and hope and pray until all these things come about, and the music is in our ears, I guess.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm happy with this. I think, you know, for me personally, I think he got a bit. I don't. Again, you hinted at it towards earlier. Is it maybe time or budgetary restraints? But I very much felt like he was sort of out of ideas by the time it hit.
You do have to wonder what else there is to give after 12 years.
Yeah, and I think, you know, for me personally, I see a lot, you know, in the 50th, a lot of that I thought was just reused music, just its specific themes. There was nothing sort of new and stand out there, which was a shame, because that was obviously a big anniversary event where you think, oh, they're going to put loads into this soundtrack, it's going to sound amazing. And it kind of wasn't, for me at least. But, you know, it does make sense when you've got, you know, David Tennant come back to bring back the person that had those themes in the first place, kind of build on those. That makes sense, but it needs to be almost completely brand new for Series 14. And as we've sort of spoken about off camera, you know, he can do that. You know, the difference between Series 4 and Series 5, you know, from David Tennant to Matt Smith, there is a huge change in the music there. And I think it works really well. And I think there's a slight change with Matt Smith to Capaldi, but not loads. But when you think of going from Chris Ferguson to David Tennant, there's basically no change there. There's not really that much change between Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. So
yeah, it's kind of showrunner based, really, isn't it, rather than Doctor based?
Yes.
And if we got the same showrunner back again, is it going to have? Is it going to be
the same music? Yes. But you know, I think it will be definitely. You know, you'd definitely be able to tell it's different to the last series, because this is going to use a complete orchestra, which I don't think was used during Jodie Whittaker's. And I'm always a big fan of big orchestral music. I think you can be very grandiose with those, and why not? But it needs to be. I need to see something new and not have like the sort of the hints of old stuff being used. I think it's something similar you could compare with John Williams. I think with his last sort of 1 or 2 Star Wars films, I very much felt they were pretty bland in terms of soundtrack wise. But when Star Wars went rogue and had a different composer for Rogue One and Solo, I thought those soundtracks were miles better than what was in the actual mainline Skywalker saga one. So it will be interesting to see. I hope it's sort of fancy and new. I think outside of the 60th, I'm hopeful that there will be like new innovations in all that kind of thing. I think, with Shooty, what we've seen sort of on set, I'm very optimistic for, and the casting choices and the way they're going. The 60th, it remains to be seen. I think they're just, what they're doing is, and I can see why this is, they're getting everything in place to pander to those people that are nostalgic, in the hope that it will hook them in to start with, and then they'll stick on the show as it then changes a bit more in series 14. And I think that's kind of, it's, if they're going to do that, this is the right time to do it, because it is a 60th year. It's an excuse to play on the nostalgia, and it's an excuse to hook those people back in that might not be that keen, and to people that haven't, or that have watched the show casually and don't follow it a lot, they'll hear his music and be like, oh, I remember this. I don't think it's going to play too much into the casual fans, especially those that really don't care about the show, just sort of watch it. They won't care. They won't
people
even
on
know
Twitter are the only people who know what the soundtracks are.
Yes, yeah. So for all people at home will know is, oh, this music sounds different to what it was last time, and then they'll move on from there. But there is scope and there is hope to have it be brand new and interesting. Same with Russell's writing and the stories. I just hope that it will be. But if we have to go through this transitional period of it being slightly similar to what it was, I'd rather have 2 to 3 years of that and then explosion, into different stuff. If this is the price to pay for new stuff, I'm happily paying it, if that makes sense. But we'll see. If it could all backfire and people might not like it, because it's not like it used to be. There's still that argument that even if it is exactly the same people coming back, people with the woke culture thing now, people are like, oh, what it didn't used to be like this, where it did, guys.
It did. You just haven't watched it since 2007.
Yes. And with it being the same people back, it will be interesting to see if those criticisms are still leveled. And I think if they are, then that will mean that no matter how much nostalgia you put in there, it won't work for those people. But who knows? I'm optimistic as always. I don't know who else they can bring back at this point.
Anyone new?
They can't bring back anyone new, can they? Come on now.
They can. What if I told you they can?
But I mean, other than the writer and the music, I don't think there are any other returning people post 60th. So unless the Moffat rumors are true,
and the Martha rumors and the Gwen Cooper rumors.
Yeah, but if they're rumors for the 14th or for the 60th, I don't know. But I mean, I'm more I'm more behind the scenes is what I'm thinking of, in terms of script writers and directors and things like that. I think a lot of the people that they've got in are fresher. I think it's just the producers and the showrunner, and now the composers that are the same ones. So
the people who are running it.
Yes, but the same people have been running it at the BBC from the start. So I mean, you can have complaints about them because of various reasons. But I don't think there's any harm in them coming back, as long as it doesn't get stuck.
As long as it's new and different, then I'm happy to sit and listen.
Yeah, but we won't know that until maybe Christmas this year. I mean, especially for the new stuff.
Yeah.
We might not hear any like the proper new stuff for the 60th, but when it comes to the festive season and Shooty's first episode, I think we'll get a hint as to what it could be. Because I mean, even when Tennant regenerated into Matt Smith at the end of time, you immediately got a sort of feeling as to what the music would be right in that sort of last 5 minutes. So who knows? We might get some hints if there's a new trailer coming out. I imagine that they've announced this news because Murray Gold's gonna have an interview with Doctor Who magazine.
Yeah, that's what Russell was talking about on Instagram.
There you go. So it will be interesting to see what he says in that interview. He might even talk about and acknowledge that it needs to be fresh, which hopefully he does. And we'll see what he says in that one. I think that comes out in a couple of weeks' time. And all of this on the same day, Blue Peter announced their competition.
I know.
Wow.
God, so much content today.
It's almost like the Blue Peter competition wasn't for the adult Doctor Who fans and they need to give them something else.
What?
Oh, I didn't even look at it. As soon as I knew it was for kids, I was like, I don't care. But
Yeah.
yes, Blue Peter, as Blue Peter does, they have quite a close connection with Doctor Who. See the Absorbal off, see the weird hand sonic thing from Deep Breath. What else have they done?
Famously good things.
Yes, yeah. There's one other thing. What else did they do? Was it the TARDIS console in?
Yes. Oh, actually, yeah, that worked out well. One out of three.
And also Matt Baker's cameo in Aliens of London on the TV screen.
Here's one I made earlier.
Yep. Yeah. So they announced just a competition to win a tour of the set. Again, I didn't read into it. I don't know if you did. It's poor research on my half, but I don't know if it's a set of. I assume it's a set of the TARDIS.
I believe it's the new TARDIS. Yeah.
Did they say when? When's it closing? When's it happening?
I have no idea.
What was the age limit? 10, 12? I don't know what the age limit is for Blue Peter, but I know that a lot of people are like, oh, that's annoying. But it's a kid's show on CBBC. It's not going to be open to everyone, obviously.
Yeah. I like that it's for people young enough that they're not going to go and be like, make a clickbait YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
Once they've been and seen it.
Their parents might, but
their parents might. They will be exploited somehow, but not themselves.
And you know, they've done this before. You know, these kind of Blue Peter competitions have been running for ages. I think they've even previously done TARDIS set tours a time. But I do like that it all feels very synergistic is a word. I don't know. It's all the synergy is working very well with this. It very much feels like whether it's the BBC or the producers have very much gone, look, we want to get this show front and center to every aspect we can get this show out there. We want to get this show out there, whether it's streaming with Disney Plus, whether it's to the kids with CBBC, whether it's to the behind the scenes fans with this potential rumored behind the scenes show that's coming out, whether it's to adult fans with spin-offs of all sorts. You know, I think they're very much, if there was any sort of doubt that the show wasn't as big in the BBC's eyes as it is, I think that's sort of gone now. I think you can definitely tell the BBC is like, yeah, we're putting all our eggs in this Doctor Who basket, and hopefully
we have money for it again, so we can actually do something with it.
And it is.
So Shannon was talking about, like, he pitched spin-off after spin-off to them, and then like, we don't have the money.
Yeah, and that's why so as soon as Russell came in, he was like, streaming needs to be the immediate thing to get the dollar in. And now they've got that, they can go ham, and hopefully they do go ham, in new and exciting ways.
Yes,
I think that's fair. But yes, this was only a short video because it's literally just come out. Remains to be seen how well it will go. Check back in a year's time when we've had some of it to see. Maybe we'll do another video in a year saying, how's Murray Gold gone? In his first 6 months, but hey, who knows? But we should be back on the weekend with an episode review, unless something else comes out.
Who else is back? Come on.
I'll take a new trailer if you want a new trailer. You know,
that's true.
I think we're still a bit too far
I feel like we're definitely gonna be due in like 6 months away, aren't we?
Maybe. I think there was some rumors that Doctor Who were trying to get into San Diego Comic-Con. So if it turns out that they are there, I imagine a new trailer will come there. And again, that shows that it's got the big, draw. Although I imagine having Disney at your back going, yeah, let them into Comic-Con will probably help them a lot.
Yeah. And they were there a few times with like Jodie and stuff as well. So
yeah, they did it right before the pandemic. I mean, they had the one from the home, didn't they? Where they were like, "Here's our San Diego Comic-Con stream," and then they later like, "I'm leaving. Goodbye." Like, oh, okay. So yeah, so they do have a presence there. Hopefully they'll have one this year, and I imagine if they do, that's in June, July. So it's only a couple of months.
It's not like July time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would imagine that might be when we next.
Yeah, they hold off a trailer until then, I imagine.
Yeah, but who knows? We could be proved wrong. Somebody might leak something and they might go, well, actually, we better put it out.
That's true. If you want a set tour of the TARDIS, it's already leaked, so just go on Reddit.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just do a quick Google and it's fine. You can find everything on there, including some concept art for some aliens that are coming up in this series. So go and have a look. But yes, that's it for now. We will be back on the weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.